Welcome to the Shockmania kill count video. I'm the Auntie Dance and we're going to check out all the awesome kills and deaths of the brand new Chinese sci-fi monster movie Sharktopus, an official remake of the 2010 Sci-Fi Channel movie of the same name starring the awesome Eric Roberts. An obvious spoiler warning before we begin. We will discuss all the kills, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, you will be spoiled. With that out of the way, let's check out the kill count of Sharktopus. The movie starts with two young kids playing on the shore, skipping rocks into the water. The boy's rock hits the carcass of what appears to be a smaller shark and awakens the beast within the water. The father, off to the side grilling meat sticks, sees the beast rise and runs to save his children who are frozen in fear. The camera fades to black where we assume that the father and his two young children are squashed to death by Sharktopus. Hell of a way to start the film, and quite dark too. Kill count sits at 3, and we are 2 minutes in. Believe it or not, Sharktopus didn't survive this homicide, so perhaps the kids got their revenge on it. Either way, a rescue crew is there to salvage eggs from the body. After cutting a hole into the side of the creature that looks like a vagina, two rescuers and Dr. Fan go inside. One of the so-called dead sharks wakes up, hungry. Everyone always wakes up hungry. It lunges at the worker, but misses. Or does he? Because a few moments later, only two people emerge from the vagina, one rescuer and Dr. Fan. Let's assume a fourth death has occurred, even though we didn't see it, I'm going to count it. Dr. Fan has been kidnapped and is forced upon a cruise ship where a secret lab is housing the baby Sharktopus from the previous scene. Dr. Fan and her two colleagues are tasked with injecting the creature with some growth serum. While doing this, the creature starts to rapidly grow and traps the scientist's hand in the incubator. A struggle ensues, with some screaming and awesome bone-crunching sound effects. It breaks out, but then stabs the other scientist as they try to escape. Death number 5, and ignore the fact the graphic on the screen says kill. We're not finished here yet though. Sharky has an appetite. While attempting to escape again, Sharky's massive tentacle trips over the injured scientist. Dr. Fan decides she wants to play tug rope with Sharky, but she ain't gonna win this battle. He is dragged behind a partition where a film crew member throws a massive bucket of blood onto the scene, signifying he is now dead. Death number 6, 17 minutes into the film. At this point of the film, the Interpol agents have boarded the ship. It's not useful to know this yet, just thought I'd tell you. There's a party going on in the main hall, but this extra in a red dress is playing the character of Vomit Girl. After getting some fresh air and barfing overboard, she looks down to see Sharky crawling up the side of the ship. This look on her face says, "Holy shit, how much did I f***ing drink?" Before she can think of an answer, a tentacle whisks her overboard to her death, leaving behind a high heel that will form a vital clue later on. Also, are we in danger of this video turning into some kind of Japanese fetish production with all these tentacles at work? Anyway, 7 deaths have now occurred. Now it gets a little messy here during this dance scene, so we're going to try our best to be as accurate as possible. Sharky plucks out random dancer. Blood splatter confirms her death, that's 8. The DJ gets it here, most likely for the shit music and annoying strobing lights, that's 9. Tentacle grabs this guy, and you hear a crack in the soundtrack of what is assumed a breaking bone. I'll award this as 10. Now, a lot of chaos happens after this, including my favourite bit which I've dubbed the bowling alley. But there's no real confirmed kills, and the camera fades to black as we see the shark about to attack a lady in a white dress, so I'm not counting any of these. We're still at 10. We are now in the kitchen, where Sharky has learned to open doors and creep up on grown men. Interpol agent Madman on the left and Scar on the right are doing their best we can't see it impersonation, but the tentacle grabs Madman. After 20 seconds of shooting, Madman is viciously killed. We can see that by the blood splatter. Kill number 11, and it's kind of a sad one. While escorting the bad guy, Blackie, Scar and Ginger are leading them down a hall when Ginger is dragged from behind by a tentacle. Again with the tentacles, but anyway. This chaos results in Scar being attacked by one of the bad guy's lackeys. It's not a death scene, but it weakens him. Blackie cuts Ginger loose from the tentacle, but it comes back and stabs him. How? I don't know. I didn't think tentacles were sharp like knives, but what do I know? Attempting and ultimately failing to save the day is Scar, who jumps up and takes the full brunt of a tentacle stab before it can attack Blackie and Ginger. Thanks to the cracking sound effects, we can assume Scar dies a horrible, horrible death. Death count is now up to 12. Blackie manages to get the blocked door open, but Ginger pushes her to safety because he knows his minutes are numbered. They share one last flirt before Ginger attempts to kill Sharky with a grenade. Somehow Sharky survives this explosion, but that's now 13 deaths, and we still have 35 minutes of the movie to go. During a struggle scene where Dr. Fan is trying to save her son from a bomb strapped to his chest, Blackie starts to fight a henchman. It's not a long fight, but she flings him off the bridge they are fighting on, and he falls to his death. Splat indeed. 14 deaths, and not all of them belong to Sharky. After unfreezing himself, herself, not sure of Sharky's pronouns here, Sharky manages to grab the bad guy in its tentacles. After trying to guilt Sharky into thinking he gave it its life, Sharky decides it's heard enough of his shit and eats him. 15 deaths now, and only a few people left to go. An explosion occurs that causes the bottom of the ship to be blown out. We see Sharky being ejected from the ship here, and it actually dies. Believe it or not. But that's okay, because a new Sharky appears. It's like a tag team battle. Now shit gets chaotic here again as we enter the final 15 minutes of the film. The crew make their way to the deck, but the captain of the ship stuffs up and they hit some rocks, causing the ship to begin to capsize and making it a perfect target for the new Sharky. Another death occurs here, a low-level crew member we know nothing about. Her grip isn't strong enough to hold the guy's hand and she slips into the water, but Sharky is there to break her fall with its mouth. Death count 16. Almost immediately, the guy realizes he done goofed and can't live his life without her. He immediately jumps overboard, also to his death. Well, I assume so anyway. Kinda dumb, very much a waste, but that brings us up to 17 deaths now. Now, astute viewers might have noticed that Blackie decides to jump and stab Sharky in the eye with her sword. She then gets flung off Sharky into the ocean where a reasonable person would have assumed she dies. But a reasonable person has also watched the post-credit sequence too and would know that she doesn't quite die in this scene, so let's keep going. With the ship in freefall, somewhere along this scene we actually lost the head chef. His character disappears somewhere between Blackie stabbing Sharky and Sharky climbing the ship, so I don't know. But Fatty's still alive, and showing great dexterity, he holds his weight while the ship sinks. Doesn't last too long though. He loses his grip and falls a long, long way to his doom. That's 18 deaths now. Amazingly, the captain of the ship is still alive. If you watch a lot of these Chinese monster movies, the guy who plays the captain and the guy who plays the fatty from The Last Death appear in almost every film from the same director and producer, and so does the lead guy as well. Anyway, in the captain's deck, he is still alive alongside another crew member. But the pressure of the water shatters the glass, killing them both instantly-ish. That's 20 deaths now, and all we have left are our 3 main characters. Now, pop quiz. One of them will die. Is it Dr. Fan, the guy who we now know is her ex-boyfriend and the father of the kid, or is it the kid who has a terminal illness? Now this is the main spoiler of the film, so be forewarned. Okay, let's go. If you were sick enough to say Dr. Fan, then you're correct. In an attempt to right the wrongs of her mutation, and probably to appease the Chinese film censors, she jumps off the little section she's standing on and into the mouth of Sharky with a neutralizer, the aim of which is to kill the Sharktopus. She completes her mission and sacrifices herself in the process. She randomly stabs the formula into Sharky, who falls to the bottom of the ocean. A horrible way to die for the both of them. But we're only counting human deaths. So that brings us to a grand total of 21 deaths in the film, with 1 character unaccounted for and several extras assumed dead but not seen in the film. Now this is a very fun film and a great remake of the 2010 original. I hope you've enjoyed this kill count video here on Shockmania. I look forward to bringing more videos like this in the future. Like and subscribe and I will catch you next time. Oh, and in case you're wondering about that post-credit sequence, here it is.